The grand ballroom shimmered under the glow of crystal chandeliers, the air filled with the clinking of champagne glasses and murmurs of sophisticated conversation. It was a night of opulence, a charity gala attended by celebrities, business moguls, and socialites, each dressed in their finest. I stood among them, my hand intertwined with hers. Sophia, the woman I had loved for 3 years. She was radiant, her emerald green dress hugging her figure perfectly, her laughter like music that blended effortlessly with the live orchestra playing in the background. She had always belonged in places like this, moving gracefully through the elite, knowing exactly what to say and when to say it. I, on the other hand, was still adjusting to this world of wealth and influence. I was here because of her, invited into this world by the woman I adored. The night was supposed to be perfect. It was supposed to be a celebration of success, of our love, of the life we were building together. But life has a cruel way of shattering illusions when you least expect it. As the evening progressed, I noticed something small at first, but undeniable. A lingering glance exchanged between Sophia and one of the waiters. A subtle touch as he passed her a drink. A smile that held something more than politeness. It was fleeting, barely noticeable, but once I had seen it, I couldn't unsee it. I tried to push the thought away. Surely, I was imagining things. Sophia loved me. She had no reason to look at another man that way. But the whispers of doubt crept in, threading through my mind like poison. An hour passed, then another. The gala was in full swing, guests dancing, laughing, indulging in the finest food and wine. I excused myself for a moment, stepping outside onto the balcony to clear my head. The cool night air was a relief against my flushed skin. I told myself I was overthinking, that the stress of the event and the unfamiliarity of this world were playing tricks on me. But when I returned, Sophia was gone. Panic settled in my chest. I scanned the room, searching for her familiar figure, for the green dress that had caught so many envious eyes that evening. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the waiter, the same one from earlier, slipping through a side door leading to the hotel suites upstairs. And a few steps behind him was Sophia. My heart pounded. My feet moved before my mind could catch up, weaving through the crowd, past laughing guests and waiters carrying trays of champagne. I reached the hallway just in time to see the door to one of the suites click shut. For a moment, I stood frozen. A war raged within me, one side pleading for me to turn away, to not open the door, to pretend I hadn't seen anything. The other side, the side fueled by betrayal and heartbreak, refused to be ignored. I stepped forward and knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Harder this time. Still nothing. My pulse was deafening in my ears. With a deep breath, I reached for the handle and pushed the door open. And there she was. The sight before me shattered everything. Sophia, the woman I had dreamed of marrying, was tangled in the arms of a man whose name I didn't even know. The rich fabric of her dress pulled around her legs as she gasped, her expression shifting from shock to guilt to something I couldn't even recognize. No, was all I managed to say. It wasn't a question. It wasn't an accusation, just a broken whisper of disbelief. Sophia scrambled to pull away from him, her hands reaching out toward me. It's not what it looks like here. But it was. It was exactly what it looked like. I took a step back, then another. The walls of the suite felt like they were closing in, suffocating me. The world blurred at the edges, the sound of the gala still echoing faintly from downstairs as if mocking me. The waiter, the man who had been nothing more than a fleeting face in the crowd, had the audacity to look at me with something almost like pity. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rewind time to just an hour ago, when I still believed in the love we had built. But I couldn't, because it was gone. Sophia pleaded, words tumbling from her lips in frantic desperation. Please, let me explain. I turned and walked away, leaving behind the woman I thought I knew and the love I thought was mine. The night was cold, but it was nothing compared to the ice settling in my chest. I didn't remember much of what happened after I left the hotel. My feet carried me aimlessly through the dark streets of the city, past neon-lit bars and silent storefronts. The gala had been a dream, And now I was stumbling through the nightmare that followed. My phone vibrated incessantly in my pocket. I knew it was Sophia. I couldn't bring myself to look at the messages. What was there to say? What words could possibly mend the wound she had inflicted? Eventually, I found myself at a small, dimly lit cafe. Copyright, the kind that stayed open late for people who had nowhere else to go. I ordered a coffee, though I could barely taste it. My hands trembled as I wrapped them around the cup, the warmth doing little to soothe me. Hours passed. At some point, exhaustion took over, and I dozed off at the table, only to be awakened by the distant sound of rain tapping against the windows. I had to go back, not to her, but to my life here, the life I had before I believed Sophia was my future. When I finally checked my phone, the screen was filled with messages. Sophia, please talk to me. Sophia, I made a mistake. I don't know why I did it. Sophia, I love you. Love. The word felt hollow now. I took a deep breath and typed the only response I could muster. Me. Don't contact me again. I hit send and turned off my phone. There was nothing left to say, nothing left to salvage. I stepped outside, letting the rain wash away the last remnants of the night. I didn't know what came next, but I knew one thing: I was walking away.